If you watch HBO's Succession real closely, you'll notice something. The very rich and very dysfunctional Roy family rides in a certain type of Mercedes, the Maybach. These are the best of the Mercedes luxury brand, and to be honest, you only want the best for TV's most hated billionaires. Back here in the real world, the Maybach brand, like the rest of Mercedes-Benz, is evolving. It's going electric. In fact, this is the first electric Maybach. It's the EQS SUV Maybach. The EQS SUV Maybach takes design cues from the other Maybachs in the Mercedes-Benz lineup. It even has that grille. Well, you don't really need a grille on an EV, but you still want that design element. You also have the Maybach name and something you don't see on any of the EQ vehicles, and that is the standing Mercedes-Benz star. As with other Maybachs, it has the two-tone paint job. On this vehicle, we have this nice brown color, plus we have the black on top that makes the greenhouse sort of pop. And of course, there are Maybach logos everywhere. You have one here in the D-pillar, you have it here, you have it, of course, in the puddle light for the driver, but for the rear passengers, you also have your own little puddle light, and it's actually quite dynamic. I want to take a quick moment to talk about these wheels. I really like the look of these wheels. I like the design. But they don't just look good, they actually do something. They reduce drag, they reduce the amount of turbulence that happens around the wheels while you're driving. In fact, Mercedes has done a lot of things to make this vehicle as slippery as possible in the wind. Currently, it has a drag coefficient of 0.28. They're trying to get it down to 0.27. Also, it's still an EQS at heart, which means these rear wheels, they turn up to 10 degrees. So when you're driving around town, it actually feels more agile than its actual size. And it's not just the wheels where Mercedes is working on efficiency. In fact, on this vehicle exclusively, they have created a system that will decouple the front motor. So if you're cruising on the freeway, if you don't need that front motor spinning and increasing drag, you can decouple from it, increasing efficiency. They've also put a heat pump in this vehicle, which means that when you're warming up the cabin, it's actually more efficient than the current system. Now, Mercedes can't give us the battery capacity as of yet. They're still working on that, so we don't know what the EPA numbers are yet. We don't know the range, but from the amount of work Mercedes is doing to increase the efficiency of this vehicle, it might be better than the regular EQS. But this is where the Maybach really shines for the executives sitting in the rear seat. I am in their lie down position. It is like a first class plane. It's actually more comfortable than in first class. And that's really what the Maybach brand is all about. Luxury beyond what you're going to get in a regular S-Class. This leather is really nice, and Mercedes is trying to be a bit more eco-conscious about their leather, so they're using like a vegetable oil in order to tan the leather. They're using a closed water system, so the water they use to work on the leather, to use it again and again. And to get the color, they are using coffee bean shells. You also get the MBUX system that we've all come to know and love. You get your voice activated system, the Hey Mercedes system, which works back here. You have these 11.6-inch screens for both passengers in the rear. You also get the tablet, which we've seen on other Mercedes-Benzes. You have it somewhere very fancy to put your phone, and you have a little fridge for champagne. And the little cup holders, they actually grab your champagne flutes. In addition to the leather, you have this really nice wood finish. It's wood with aluminum, and it goes from the very back of the vehicle all the way up to the front. This is a very nice vehicle to be in, and they've even made sure that the person who's back here in the lane back, they don't get a lot of noise from the rear motor, from the rear suspension. They've done a lot of work to reduce the amount of noise that's coming up from the road and from the vehicle to this person's head. So essentially, you could just take a nap back here or just be very, very fancy. While the front seat is nice, the vehicle is really built to haul very rich people around. The regular comfort mode has been replaced with a special Maybach mode that creates an even smoother ride with an air suspension system that can be raised up to 1.4 inches. But if you do end up driving this vehicle, you will not be disappointed. It's very powerful, and you still get all the fun Maybach amenities, not counting the champagne fridge. You get the nice comfortable seats, you get the nice wood with the aluminum inlay, you get this special steering wheel. It's just for Maybach vehicles. It actually says Maybach. The dash cluster has a special Maybach cluster. It has actually little gauges. It actually looks really cool. It's very clean. and you get more Maybach logos. In fact, the accelerator and the brake, well, they both have Maybach logos on them. The EQS SUV Maybach is a powerful monster. It's an all-wheel drive vehicle with 649 horsepower and 700 pound-feet of torque, and it'll do 0 to 60 in 4.1 seconds. Unfortunately, they can't tell us the range, but we do know it has the same size pack that we see in the EQS SUV. Unfortunately, we don't know the capacity of that pack. It could change from, vehicle to vehicle. We do know that it'll charge at 200 kilowatts at a compatible DC fast charging station thanks to a 400-volt system. The EQS SUV Maybach will be available in the United States this fall. So far, Mercedes-Benz has not shared any price information, but expect to pay a pretty penny for this vehicle. It is, of course, the pinnacle of Mercedes-Benz luxury. For more automotive coverage from, well, an old monastery in Portugal, be sure to subscribe to Engadget.